Hello dear friends, I am Dr. D.G. Trivedi going to take your lecture number 12 in EL 4502 SIP registers. We have studied that there are four types of the SIP registers are there. Two-way data can be entered into the SIP register and there are two ways the data can be taken out from the SIP register. Data can be entered into the SIP register in serial fashion that we have already studied. In that case, if there is a 8-bit SIP register is going to be there, that means there will be only one input and one output will be there. And data can be entered one by one. On every clock pulse, one single data bit is entered into the SIP register and which will be appear at the output of the SIP register one by one. If you are entering the data from LSB to MSB, then after 8 clock pulse, the 8-bit data will be entered into the SIP register, and after 8 clock, the output of the last flip-flop, that is QH, will show the LSB in the output. And this way, the data can be entered in a serial fashion. In a parallel fashion, we are going to study right now. So, in a parallel fashion, all the 8-bit data will be appear at the inputs of the shift register. If it is 8-bit shift register, that means 8 inputs will be there and parallel entry of the data and serial out of the data, that means only one output pin is going to be available. So, this we are going to study right now using the IC 74166. Parallel in serial out shift register. In prior section, the idea necessary for shifting data into and out of the register in a serial fashion have been studied or it was developed. We can now use these same ideas to develop the method for parallel entry of the data into the shift register. There are a number of different techniques for parallel entry of the data, but we shall concentrate our efforts on a commercial available TTL circuits. At first glance, the logic diagram for some of the shift register seems rather formidable. See for instance the block diagram for a 54 oblique 74166, but they aren't really. The 5474166, for instance, is 8-bit shift register and the same circuit is repeated 8 times. So, if you look for this IC internal block diagram of parallel entry of the data, you can see that the circuit looks to be very complicated. But actually it is not that much complicated, because what happens, this is a 8-bit parallel entry of the data. So for this shift register, data can be entered either, there are two ways data can be entered into this shift register. Data can be entered in a serial fashion also, as well as it can be entered in a parallel fashion also. And hence, if you see this circuit of this circuitry, this IC, it looks to be complicated. But in reality, it is not that, because one circuit is going to be repeated 8 times and you don't have to study complete circuitry, but you have to study one of this circuit and that circuit will be repeated 8 times in this IC. And then a specific way these circuits are going to be connected such that the data can be entered serially also, as well as it can be entered parallelly also, and there is some shift load control is there which is controlling this data whether to enter the data in a serial fashion or to enter the data in a parallel fashion. So it is necessary only one of the 8 circuits, and that's what we shall do here. The pinout and logic block diagram for a 5474166 are given in figure 9.10. The functional description given on the TTL dataset says that this is an 8-bit shift register. So 54, that is military application, 74 as a commercial application, 166, this is a TTL IC, which is nothing but 8-bit shift register. That means it contains 8 RS flip-flops capable of either serial or parallel data entry and serial data output. That means only one output lines will be there. Notice that there are 8 RS flip-flops and each with some attached logic circuitry will be there. You can see that this is the internal block diagram of IC 5474166. And if you see this logic circuitry at a glance, first you will feel that this circuit is very complicated and difficult to understand. But actually, if you see this circuitry, that means there is one circuitry is there. There are 8 RS flip-flops will be there because this is 8-bit shift register is there, and with that some logic circuitry is attached, and this kind of arrangement is repeated 8 times in this one, and that way this IC 74166 parallel entry of the data or serial entry of the data of this IC can be formed. This is the pin diagram of IC 74166. You can see that this IC is a 16 pin IC. Pin number 16 is a VCC. Because it is a TTL, plus 5 volt should be connected here and a ground should be connected at pin number 8. Pin number 1 is the serial data input. That is, you can see that in this circuitry, the serial data input is the upper AND gate. One of the input terminal is designated serial data input. So, if you want to enter the data in a serial fashion, that data bits either from LSB towards the MSB or from MSB towards the LSB, one bit at a time has to be present prior to the clock makes a transition, and that way the data will be shifted into the first flip-flop, and output of this first flip-flop will be shifted into the next flip-flop QB and down the line up to the last flip-flop, and that way the data is going to be entered serially into the shift register. So that is the pin number 1 is utilized, which is designated as a serial input. If you want to enter the data in a parallel fashion, that means shift load controls. This shift load controls, that is a pin number 15, which should be enabled. And when the shift load control is going to be low, then lower AND gates, all lower AND gates of this NOR gate, that means lower side of this NOR gate, all the AND gates are going to be enabled, and that means the data is going to be present at the input pins A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. This data bits will be entered on a single clock transition to the flip-flops. So whatever data at A is present, that will be loaded into the flip-flop A. Whatever data is going to be present at B will be loaded at QB. C will be loaded into the flip-flop C, and down the line up to H input will be loaded into the flip-flop H. So this way, this ABCD, pin number 2, pin number 3, pin number 4, pin number 5, that is the parallel inputs, and pin number 10, pin number 11, pin number 12, and pin number 14. These are the parallel inputs ABCD, EFGH. These are the input pins for this data parallel entry of the data. Pin number 9 is the clear signal, and you can see that bubble is here, which indicate that clear signal is active low. So when the clear signal is going to be activated, when it makes low, it has precedence over all other inputs. That means the serial data entry as well as parallel data entry is not going to be affected. Whatever the clock makes a transition or it doesn't make a transition, it doesn't affect. And all the flip-flops are going to be reset to the zeros. So QA towards the QH, all the flip-flops outputs are going to be reset to the zeros. They become slow. So the clear signal, if you want to activate anytime, it has to be made low, and then after it should be made high to make it inactive, and either the parallel entry of the data or serial entry of the data can be activated. Pin number 15 as a shift load inputs. This is the control signals through which you can enter the data in this IC either serial fashion or parallel fashion. If the shift load control line is going to be low, then the data present at ABCD EFGH, that is a parallel entry of the data, is going to be possible if the clock makes a transition. And when the shift load control is going to be high, the data can be entered through the pin number 1, that is in a serial fashion. One by one data bits is going to be entered in a serially, and it will be shifted from QA towards the QB and down the line. One more pin is going to be there, that is called clock and clock inhibit. This clock pulse is passed through the NOR gate. You can see that. So actually all the flip-flops are negative age triggered. This clock is available after the output of NOR gate. So when clock inhibit is going to be low, clock will pass through the NOR gate inverted. So the flip-flops which are negative age triggered, but they will change the state after the clocks makes a positive transition. So you can say that the clocks makes a positive transition, the data will be loaded into the flip-flops. Clock is going to be inhibit, which is going to be high. What will be the output of the NOR gate? Output of the NOR gate is going to be 1. That means clock cannot enter through another inputs of the NOR gate. So clocks are stopped to reaching the flip-flops, and that way the flip-flops hold their information, the previous information or previous content is going to be hold, or it is going to be stored. So this way this IC is going to be work. Let's analyze one of these circuits by starting with the RS flip-flop and then adding logic block to accompany our need. So this 8 circuitry is there. Out of this 8 circuitry, one of the circuitry we are going to study right now. First, recognize that clock RS flip-flop and HH inverter given in figure 9.11a form a type of the D flip-flop. That means here we are utilizing RS flip-flop is going to be utilized, and clock RS flip-flop is going to be utilized, which is negative age triggered. Clock RS flip-flop is there. Between R and S, there is an inverter is going to be utilized, and hence this RS flip-flop is converted into clock D flip-flop. That we are going to see in a figure 1 or A. You can see that this is RS flip-flop is there. Data input is going to be here, and that is designated X bar. This pass through the inverter and it is available at S input, and data input X bar is available at the R. And you can see that this clock age circle and triangle is there. That means this flip-flop is negative age triggered flip-flop is there. So whatever data is going to be present at data inputs, that is going to be inverted, and that is going to be shifted into this flip-flop or negative transition of the clock pulse. So this is your circuit number A, and this clock RS flip-flop is converted into the type of D flip-flops. So this input we can designate as a D inputs. Now prior to this data inputs, there is a NOR gate is going to be introduced. NOR gate is having two inputs, X1 and X2. So this X1 and X2 will access that there are two different ways data can be shifted, or which will be entered into the shift register, and hence you can enter the data in a serial fashion or a parallel fashion. If you want to make the entering the data through X1, then X2 should be grounded, and data present at X1 is going to be inverted by this NOT gate. So X data, which will be 1 or 0, will be inverted through this NOR gate when X2 is going to be ground, and that is going to be available here. Again it is going to be inverted. That means this X data is going to be shifted into the flip-flop on a negative transition of the clock pulse. Now prior to this NOR gate, X1 and X2, there are two inverter, and this two inverter and two AND gates are going to be utilized, which will give you that whether the data is going to be entered to the X1 or data is going to be entered to the X2. If control line is going to be high, Double inversions makes no inversions. That means control line is going to be high. One of the input of upper AND gate is going to be high. And this input of the lower AND gate is going to be low. So output of the lower AND gate is going to be 0. So X2 is going to be grounded. And data at X1, either 0 or 1, that will pass through the upper AND gate and is available at upper leg of the NOR gate. And this data on a negative transition of the clock pulse will be shifted into the flip-flop. On the other hand, if the control line is going to be low, then the lower AND gate is going to be enabled, because after inversions this becomes 1. So one of the leg of the lower AND gate is going to be high, and data presented at X2 will be passed through this AND gate and it is available at X2, and output X1 is going to be low, and hence the output of this gate is going to be 0 or ground. So X1 will be grounded and data present at X2 will be shifted into the flip-flop on negative transition of the clock pulse. So this way, this control signal is controlling low or high, and accordingly data present at X1 or data present at X2 will be shifted into the shift register on clock makes a transition. You can see here through 1 and 0 also. You can see that if the control line is going to be 1, after the inversions it becomes 0. That means for this AND gate, the one of the input is 0. For this AND gate, this one of the input becomes 1. So this AND gate is going to be enabled. This AND gate is going to be disabled, because any one of the input is low, the output of this AND gate is going to be low. That means lower leg of the NOR gate is going to be ground. X1 data is going to be presented 1, so that 1 will be passed through this AND gate available to the upper AND gate, and after the inversions of the NOR gate it will be 0. Again it will be inverted by this one, and 1 will be present at S and this 0 will be present at R. So S is equal to 1, R is equal to 0. That is a set condition. On the next negative edge of the clock pulse, the flip-flop is going to be set and Q takes the value of 1. So this way 1 will be clocked, or 1 will be actually shift into the shift register. Now add a NOR gate as shown in a figure 9.11b. If one leg of this NOR gate is at a ground level, a data bit X at the other leg is simply inverted by the NOR gate. For instance, if X is equal to 1, then at the output of the NOR gate, X is equal to 0, allowing 1 to be clocked into the flip-flop. This NOR gate offers the option of entering the data from two different sources. Data can be entered through the channel X1, or the data can be entered through the channel X2. Holding X2 at the ground, lower leg of the NOR gate is going to be ground. X2 at the ground will allow the data at X1 to be shifted into the flip-flop. Conversely, holding X1 at the ground level will allow the data at X2 channel is shifted into the flip-flop. The addition of two AND gates and two inverter as shown in the figure 9.11c will allow the selection of the data X1 or data X2. So these two AND gate and two inverters are going to be utilized for selection of the data which is supposed to be shifted into the flip-flop. So data present at X1 will be shifted into the flip-flop. On control line is going to be high. When control line is going to be low, the data present at X2 will be shifted into the flip-flops on negative edge of the clock pulse. If the control line is high, the upper AND gate is enabled and the lower AND gate is disabled. Thus, X1 will appear at the upper leg of the NOR gate, while the lower leg of the NOR gate will be ground level. On the other hand, if the control line is low, the upper AND gate is disabled while the lower AND gate is going to be enabled. This allows the data present at X2 channel is appear at the lower leg of the NOR gate, while the upper leg of the NOR gate is at the ground level. You should now study this circuit until your understanding is crystal clear. Considering writing 0 or 1 at each gate leg in response to the various inputs. So, in circuit, if I consider that control line is going to be low, 0, what happens? Output of this one is going to be 1. That means this AND gate, one of the input is going to be high, this AND gate, input is going to be low. So, this AND gate is going to be disabled, output of this AND gate is going to be 0. So, upper AND gate, upper leg of the NOR gate is going to be at ground level. And data present at x2, whatever it may be there, if it is x2 is going to be 1, that 1 will be clocked into the flip-flop on negative edge of the clock pulse, because that is going to be present over here, and that is going to be inverted here again, and that becomes 0, again it becomes 1, and that data is going to be latched into the flip-flops. Consider writing 0 or 1 at each gate leg in response to the various inputs. To summarize, control line is high. Data bit at x1 will be shifted into the flip-flop at the next clock transition, when the next clock makes a transition. Control line is going to be low. Data bit at x2 will be shifted into the flip-flop at the next clock transition. So, this control line is actually selecting the data present at x1 will be shifted into the flip-flop, or data present at x2 will be shifted into the flip-flop when the next clock makes a transition. So, control line is going to be high. Data present at x1 will be shifted into the flip-flop, and when control line is going to be low, data present at x2 will be shifted into the flip-flop. So, there are two options or two channels are available through which data can be entered into the shift register, and that way two options we getting, that is data can be entered in a serial fashion into the shift register also, as well as data can be entered into the shift register in a parallel fashion also. A careful examination will reveal that exactly 8 of the circuit given in figure 9, 11C are connected together to form a 5474166 shift register shown in a figure 9.10. The only question is how they are connected. The answer is they are connected to allow two different operations. So, this type of the 8 circuitry are interconnected with each other, and they are forming a 5474166 8-bit shift register, which can access the data entry in a serial fashion also, as well as it can enter the data in a parallel fashion also. Now, we have to answer these questions. The answer is they are connected to allow two different operations. The parallel entry of the data, that means when the control line, which is designated in this particular IC shift load control, if that is going to be low, then data can be entered through parallel fashion through the inputs A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And if the shift load control is going to be high, then the data is going to be entered through the serial input, that is pin number 1, in a serial fashion. On every clock pulse, single data bit is going to be entered in a serial fashion. And data is going to be shifting from flip-flop QA toward the last flip-flop QH. So, the parallel entry of the data and the operation of the shifting the data serially through the register from the first flip-flop QA toward the last flip-flop QH. If the data input label X2 in figure 9.11c is brought out individually for each flip-flop, this 8 inputs will serve as a parallel data entry input for a 8-bit number ABCD EFGH. These 8 inputs are labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H in figure 9.10. The control line is labeled here is a shift load. Holding the shift load control line low will enable the lower AND gate for each flip-flop, and 8-bit number will be loaded into the flip-flop with a single clock transition. This is known as a parallel input of the data. If you want to see that circuitry, I'll show you here. See this one. This is a NOR gate. These are the two AND gates are there. And prior to this two AND gate, there are two inverter and this input which was known as a control signal, which is now designated as shift load control. So when the shift load control line is going to be low, that means output of the first inverter is going to be high. That means lower AND gate, this one, similarly here, because this line is connected everywhere. One of the input of the lower AND gates of all 8 circuitry. So all the lower AND gates are going to be enabled. And data present at the another input of the lower AND gate, that is the data inputs are going to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. This data will be shifted into the flip-flop on a single clock transition to the corresponding flip-flop. That means data present at A will be shifted into the flip-flop A and QA will take the value of A on clocks makes a transition. Similarly, QB will take the value of B when clocks makes a transition, QC will take the value of C, and similarly QH will take the value of H when that single clock makes a transition simultaneously to all the flip-flops. So on a single clock pulse itself, all the data bit present at A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, they will be shifted into the corresponding flip-flop on a single clock transition. This is known as the parallel entry of the data. Now, how the serial entry of the data? You can see that when serial input of the data is nothing but one of the input of this AND gate, and if the shift load control line is going to be high, after the two inversions, this input is going to be high. So upper AND gate is going to be enabled. All upper AND gates are going to be enabled because this output is connected to one of the input of all the AND gates, upper AND gates, one of the legs. And that's way all the upper AND gates are going to be enabled. Output of the first flip-flop QA is connected as a input to the another input of the upper AND gate. Output of QB, you can see that this is connected as a one of the input of the upper AND gate. Output of the QC is connected as one of the input of the next flip-flop, and that way the data is going to be shifted into flip-flop to flip-flop from QA toward the QB, QB to toward the QC, and QC toward the QD. That way when clocks makes a transition. So every clock transition, one bit will be shifted from QA toward the QB, and from the serial data inputs, that data bit which is going to be presented here will be shifted into the flip-flops. This is a clear inputs is there, and this input is connected to all the flip-flop. You can see that here there is a bubble is there. So clear signal is going to be active low. So when the clear input is going to be low, that you can see here in the IC also, this is bubble is here. So by making this low, all the flip-flop are going to be reset, or it is going to be clear, irrespective of the clock or any other inputs. So the clear input has precedence over all other controls, and all the flip-flop will be reset immediately, irrespective of the clock or clock inhibit, etc. So a careful examination will reveal that exactly 8 of the circuits given in figure 9.11c are connected together to form a 5474166 shift register shown in a figure 9.10. The only question is, how are they connected? The answer is, they are connected to allow two different operations, the parallel entry of the data, and second one, the operation of the shifting the data serially through the register from the first flip-flop QA toward the last flip-flop QH in a serial fashion. If the data inputs label X2 in figure 9.11c is brought out individually. For each flip-flop, these 8 inputs will be served as a parallel data entry input for the 8-bit numbers, that is ABCD, EFGH. These 8 inputs are labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H in a figure 9.10. The control line is labeled here shift load control. Holding this shift load control line low will enable the lower AND gates for each flip-flop. An 8-bit number will be loaded into the flip-flop with a single clock transition, which is known as a parallel data entry. Holding the shift load control line high will enable the upper AND gate for each flip-flops. If the input from this upper AND gate receives its data from the prior flip-flop in a register, each clock transition will shift a data bit from one flip-flop to the next following flip-flop, proceeding in the direction from QA toward the QH. In other words, data will be shifted through the register in a serial fashion. In the first flip-flop in a register, the upper AND gate input is labeled as a serial input pin number 1. Thus, data can also be entered into this register in a serial fashion. Now we can summarize here. If the shift load control line is going to be low, a single clock transition will load 8-bit data which is present at the input A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, whatever data is going to be there. A can be 1 or 0, B can be 1 or 0. So any combination of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H into the register in a parallel fashion in a single clock transition, this data will be loaded into the shift register. If shift load line is going to be high, the clock's transition will shift data through the register in a serial fashion from QA toward the QH. And the data presented at the serial data input will be entered into the first flip-flop QA. So shift load line is going to be high. Clock transition will shift the data through the register serially with entering the new data applied at the serial inputs. Notice that clock is applied through a 2-input NOR gate. When the clock inhibit is going to be low, the clock signal passes through the NOR gate inverted. So here also clock is applied through the NOR gate, which is having a 2 inputs. One of the input is designated clock inhibit, another input is a clock input through which the clock will be passed. So when the clock inhibit is going to be low, data or clock which is going to be present at the other input of the NOR gate will be inverted and will be available to all the flip-flops. So this clock RS flip-flop is negative age triggered, but because they are going to be passing through the NOR gate inverted, the data will be shifted into the shift register on a positive transition of the clock pulse. When the clock inhibit is held low, the clock signal passes through the NOR gate inverted. Since the register flip-flops respond to the negative transition, data will shift into the register on the positive transition of the clock, because NOR gate invert the clock pulse. When the clock inhibit is going to be high, the NOR gate output is held low. That means output of the NOR gate stuck to the low only. Clock pulse will not be allowed to pass through the NOR gate. The output of the NOR gate remains to be low, 0. And that means the clock pulse are prevented to reaching the flip-flops. When the clock inhibit is going to be high, the NOR gate output is held low and the clock is prevented from reaching the flip-flop. In this mode, the register can be made to stop and hold its content. A low level at the clear input can be applied anytime without regards to the clock. It will immediately reset all the flip-flops to 0. When not in use, this clear input should be held high. The truth table in figure 9.12 summarizes the operation of the 5474166. The 8-bit shift register. You should study this table in conjunction with the logic diagram to understand clearly how the register can be used. So this truth table is very important. It explains that how this IC will work and how it enters the data in a serial fashion as well as in a parallel fashion. So Here you can see that first column is related with the clear input. So when the clear input is going to be low, that means clear input is activated. It has precedent over all other controls. Shift load is going to be X, that means don't care. Clock inhibit is going to be don't care. Clock is going to be don't care. Serial input is going to be don't care. Parallel entry of the data is going to be don't care. All the flip-flops are going to be resets. So internal level, these are the internal levels of the flip-flop, because only one output is going to be available, and that output is going to be QH. But inside also there is a outputs of each flip-flop is there, that is designated QA, QB, QC, QD, QH, up to QZ will be there. So all the flip-flops are going to be reset, and QA becomes 0, QB becomes 0, QH becomes 0. So that is the activation of the clear signal. When not in use, this clear signal should be made high. Then and then only other inputs can function. Next line. Shift load is going to be X, whatever it may be. Clock inhibit is going to be low. That means the clock can pass inverted to the NOR gate. But clock is going to be low. Clock is not actually there. It is not a train of the pulses, it is low. And hence the output of this NOR gate is going to be high. It's stuck to the high. And that's why the data present at the serial input, whatever it is going to be there, or data present at A to H parallel entry of the data is not going to be affected, or it is not going to be shifted into the flip-flop, because flip-flop doesn't get to the clock age. And hence the output of each flip-flop, that means QAO, QBO, QHO will be there. That means they will be remains into the previous state. In the last state, there will not be change in the output of each flip-flop, which is mentioned here. QAO, QBO, that is the level at QA, QB before steady state, because they are not getting a clock pulse, so nothing is going to be happening. Third entry of the clock line here. Clear is going to be high, that means clear is inactivated. Shift load control is going to be low. So shift load control is going to be low. That means the parallel entry of the data is going to be possible. Lower AND gates inputs are going to be enabled A, B, C, D. So this inputs parallel entry of the data A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H are going to be entered on negative next positive edge of the clock pulse. A will be entered into the flip-flop QA, B will be entered into the flip-flop QB, C will be entered into the flip-flop QC, etc., etc. H will be entered into the flip-flop QH on single clock transition. Serial entry of the data is irrelevant here. This is on a positive transition of the clock pulse, because it is inverted to the NOR gate, and clock inhibit is going to be low, so it is inverted clock pulse on this positive transition will be available to the negative transition to each flip-flop, and data will be loaded on this negative transition to the flip-flops. So this line indicates for the parallel entry of the data. Then these two lines are the serial entry of the data. That means the clear is going to be high, shift load control is going to be high. So now there is a serial input that is activated. So data presented at the serial input is going to be high. This data is going to be shifted into the first flip-flop. So QA will take the value of the serial data input, and output of the QA will be shifted into the flip-flop QB. So QB will take the value of the previous value of the QA, that is going to be shifted into the next flip-flop QB, and the output of the previous flip-flop, the last flip-flop QH, that is QGN, will be shifted into the flip-flop QH. Similarly, you can see that the same thing for here, but serial data input, the data is present is going to be low now. That means data is going to be 0. On positive transition of this, the clock inhibit is going to be low, so the clock is going to be inverted, available to all the flip-flops simultaneously, and data will be shifted into the serial fashion, and serial data input L, or that is going to be 0, will be shifted into the first flip-flop QA, and output of the QA will be shifted to the next flip-flop QB, and so on. And the last entry of this one, you can see that is, if the clear input is going to be high, that is inactivated. shift load control may be anything, but clock inhibit is going to be high. That means NOR gate will stop passing the clock pulse. So clock pulse will not pass through the NOR gate. That means the clock pulse will not be available to all the flip-flops. So the flip-flops are not responding to the serial entry of the data, or it is not responding to the parallel entry of the data, and the all the flip-flop holds that previous values. That means they remains into the previous state or the last state. No change of the data will be there. That way you can understand the truth table of 5474166 IC. Now one question related with this one. Which entry is the truth table in figure 9.12 account for the parallel entry of the data? Third line. The third entry from the top, clear is high, that means it is inactivated. Shift load control is going to be low, so this is for the parallel entry of the data. If the shift load is going to be high, that is the serial entry of the data. Clock inhibit is going to be low, that means positive clock transition, which is going to be inverted and available to all the flip-flops simultaneously. And the serial data input is irrelevant, and the data present at ABCD EFGH will be loaded into the flip-flop on a single clock transition. So that's way it is a parallel entry of the data is there. What is the purpose of shift load line on 74166? It gives the options that data can be entered serially or it can be entered in a parallel fashion to the shift register. Is data shift into and out of the 74166 register on a clock positive transition or on a clock negative transition? So data shifted into and out of 74166 register on a clock positive transition because it is inverted because of that presence of the NOR gate and a clock inhibit mode. And hence actually the flip-flops are negative age triggered, but they are passing through this inverter and hence they will respond on a positive transition of the clock pulse. Thank you very much, friends.